Hello. Trying to test out. Oh, there's the set. There's the quality. It's coming in. There we go. That's some good quality. Well, hopefully you guys can hear me. Sorry guys, bear with me here while I set up this stream for the first time ever. Just want to see what my memory usage is like. How hard's my computer working? Everything looks good to me. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to stream for the first time with you guys. So just a little bit of background here. I'm currently working on my final project for while I set up. I'm sorry, I just got distracted. My sound was on. I was just trying to see if YouTube Studio is working and everything. Looks like it is. But back to what I was saying. Just a little bit of introduction here in the background. Currently working on my final project for a computational economics course. Currently a undergrad student here at North Dakota State University. And my final project, what I decided to do was work on this portfolio optimization model where pretty much I'm trying to build out a computational model which will do an asset allocation based off of some frameworks in modern portfolio theory or frameworks in portfolio management as a field. And what it's the theory that's focused around is modern portfolio theory. And so, yeah, let's just dive in. It's been a while since I've looked at this. I'm not going to be with you guys today very long, especially since it's my first video. Not many viewers here, 0 actually, matter of fact. But, you know, just getting out there. So, here is where I'm at currently. Probably zoom out a little bit. Maybe that's a little too hard to see. So yeah, what I need to do here is Sunday, I have my project is due at midnight, so I gotta do this rough draft. That's what I'm turning in, 2,500 words, 10 citations. So I'm just gonna go through right now, make sure I got the citations. I got 1 there, 2, 3, where's that 4th one? And please comment down below if you guys think maybe my voice is too soft, maybe I'm not being super clear, anything that you guys think I can improve upon. I would absolutely love to hear about it. Okay, so I got the 1, 2, 3, and then I got 1 here, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm at 7 citations. Just gonna comment on that. Currently at 7 citations for 2023. And so for those of you who don't know, Jupyter Notebook here is a software that comes alongside Anaconda. Anaconda is a distribution for Python. So it's pretty much, it's free. Oh, got a little ding there. It's free for everyone, and it's everything you need to get started in data science on your own computer. and it comes with a lot of packages already installed, so it's really simple to get up and running. It comes with all these packages, or I mean, it's compatible really with all these. The main ones that I'm familiar with are NumPy and pandas and matplotlib, which is what my course focuses on. But TensorFlow is something for uh, machine learning type tasks, and then I think NumPy is a framework which is designed to run off of C language, which is like a faster version of pandas, if I'm understanding that right. But let me look that up. Faster than pandas. Okay, so it doesn't speed up code involving pandas, according to Sophidian.com. It's a just-in-time compiler. So it's designed to speed up NumPy code, but not sure why. It does take less time, 6.77 milliseconds compared to 8.63. But I mean, I guess if you're in a huge enterprise operation, that might be worth it. But anyways, back to what I was talking about before. Yeah, Anaconda is a great package or distribution to get started. Super easy to install. And so one of the things you get with this Jupyter Notebook, and this allows you to write in markup. So, or markup language, I think is the name of it. And so you have these cells, what they're called. This big blue line is indicating that this is just one ginormous cell, and in it you can format things like through the hashtag and then a space, and then you can write, and that whole line will be big text, and you can add more hashtags to sort of delineate your sections of your paper. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at now. So I've imported some packages: pandas, numpy, matplotlib, Yahoo Finance, which is what I'm using to get some time series data for this project. And then a few other packages. This one here, I'm not even quite sure exactly what it does, but I was troubleshooting part of my project, but we can talk about that a little later. So yeah, at the beginning here, I'm overriding an error with the legacy pandas data reader. So there's like a deprecated portion of pandas data reader, which doesn't quite work out with Yahoo Finance. And so you just put this method here, you call that off of Yahoo Finance, and it'll override the error so that I can get the data. And so moving on here. Alright, so I'm at 8 citations. There's 9. Do I have a 10? Oh, 10 would be huge, guys. I think I have one. So I'm just trying to see if I'm where I'm at in this. Okay, so I got 10 citations. Nice. Alright, so we can get working. Oh, it's so tough to navigate this with such a... I usually have a screen to my left here. I actually do right now, and I usually code on that screen, but I want you guys to all be able to see, and I know that not everyone has a vertical monitor, so I'm at 10 citations. Okay, so I got that. I do know I need like 100 more words to write, but I really just want to get this project, make some progress. Okay, so the start of this, I specify the dates I want to analyze, and I thought 20 years was a good enough time period, so I assigned a variable to datetime.datetime, and then this was the start date. So what datetime does is you can pass a year, a month, and a day, and it'll assign that to a variable, so you can use it in other ways. And then there's end date here, which is just today's date. And then I'm going to make a dictionary and I'm going to name it portfolio dictionary. And then these stock tickers. So for those of you who don't really know, stock tickers are symbols, a unique series of letters assigned to a security or an investment security. Um, and there's different ones based off of which exchange you're listed on. So there's NASDAQ, there's the NYSE, and the London Exchange, Hong Kong Exchange, etc. So for now, just to build out the project, I'm just passing these tickers. And then I do a for loop here. So for every ticker in this list of tickers, I am going to assign the dictionary, the individual, that ticker name. I'm going to pass all this information to this get data Yahoo method. So I'm going to pass the ticker I'm going to iterate over each ticker in this list and then pass that to this method and then specify what date of information I want and then the end date. And so this is just showing that it's downloaded all of them. And just to build out the project right now, I'm using a smaller list, but the vision is for me to have a dynamically decided upon list of stocks. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that, but that's the dream. Might not happen. But moving on here. So I created a variable called portfolio data df, which is short for data frame, and I concatenated using the pandas library. So I concatenated to that data frame. I created a column I called the adjusted closed data only for so for each item in the dictionary, for each value, so VO for each ticker in the data frame, I concatenated to that the adjusted close. So I concatenated to the data frame. I might be wrong. I might be butchering this, so I'm sorry guys, but bear with me. I'm sort of a novice. And feel free to suggest any improvements or errors that I've made. So I also assigned the keys. Keys equal. Well, let's scratch that. I gotta come back to this and understand what I'm doing here. So I'm concatenating on the first axis. I'm gonna have to dissect this. But moving on here, I dropped the null values and I'm just trying to pass the data frame so I can see what the data looks like. And so it looks normal. There's not any random data like a null value and all that stuff. So 2,631 rows, 13 columns, so I have 13 different tickers, and their information going all the way back to 2012. Which, that's not quite 20 years, so it appears that some of these didn't exist prior to that date. And in this next cell here, I calculate and assign the stock tickers percent change to another data frame. So I call that percent data frame or percent df. And I calculate that by taking all the values in the portfolio data frame and multiplying by 100 because the percent change is just going to give me that decimal value. And then I drop the null values so I can see what it looks like. Now, I'm going to run all these cells so I can run along with you guys for a bit. Oh, apparently I don't have Wi-Fi now. No module name, Wi-Fi. Huh. Okay, so I actually just reinstalled my computer. So I don't have Yahoo Finance, so I'm pulling up the terminal here, and I'm going to install that. And the way you can do that is through this command called pip install Yahoo Finance. Let's see if that's the right one. Oh, pip doesn't work here. So I'm actually have to use Anaconda's prompt. Pip install, I think it's Y Finance actually. Okay, so downloaded that. That should get rid of that error. Okay, went through fine or not. I don't have pandas either. Pip install pandas. That's odd. It says I already have pandas. Pip install pandas data reader. There it is. Okay. Wait for that to go through. Building the wheel. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds funny. Well, we can move on for now. I probably have a few more here that are issues. There it goes. Let's run that. It's not running. Let's restart this entire thing. Sometimes that fixes the issue. Well, that is odd, guys. And when in doubt, Google. Okay, maybe I had the wrong version, I guess. Come on. Alright, it worked, guys. Huge. Okay, so this is going to download all the data. And we'll just run through these cells one by one. Okay, so I calculated I passed to the percent data frame this portfolio data frame, and then on that portfolio data frame, I called this method percent change, and then I multiplied those values that returns by 100. And so that calculates the percent difference for each ticker, the difference between the first date and the second date as a percent. And so this is what that looks like. Notice how 1024 got dropped because there's no more 1024 data because we didn't have 1023. So see that's there, 2637 rows, 2636 rows. And so next step here, we're going to plot using matplotlib the daily adjusted stock prices for the portfolio. And so I set some parameters here to make my margins. So this is the X margin. So plot.rc parameters or params. I pass it this axes.x margin, and I set that to 0. And then the Y margin I set to 0.01. And then I updated the font size. So for example, I can make it 32, and this gets bigger. And then I used matplotlib to draw so the figure-ax that creates this figure, and then it creates the axes. And I plotted a figure of 24 by 16 in size. And The data I used was from portfolio data frame. So on the data frame itself, you can call this method .plot, and then from that you can choose scatter plots, histogram, etc. But for this one, it's just a line plot, and so I set the axes equal to this one. So the reason you do that is that you can actually set multiple. You can create like one figure, and then you can split it up into say four different sections or four different charts. But for now, I'm just setting. I just want one figure for this, and then ax.set title. So on the ax itself, you can set the title. So that's that. And then the next one, I just set the scale for the y-axis to logarithmic so that it's more relative. So for instance here, we can see this blue line. It looks like it's really outpacing the rest, right? But right here, you can kind of see it's not quite as steep as you thought it was on a relative basis. It looks a little messy right now, but this is just the bare bones. And of course, we can see the data. So this isn't using I didn't drop all the null values. So for instance, up here, like this data for VOO probably went back really far. Let's see if we can figure out. Okay, so this blue line is VOO. So yeah, so VOO didn't exist prior to 2009-ish. So when you drop the null values, like drop NA here, it will cut off all this data. And I didn't do that for this chart, so. Alright guys, that's the end of my stream today. Sorry to cut it short. I do have to get to a event here shortly, so have a great rest of your day, guys.